Hi, friends. Thank you for taking just a few moments to learn about how to use Slack. Why on earth are we asking you to learn about this technology? Well, in the endeavor that we're taking on with 7 new neighbor teams and about 100 volunteers, communication can become really messy. Slack gives us the opportunity to keep our communication simple. On Slack, you can do one-to-one texting. You can be within a small group that is your neighbor team texting. And you can also text to everyone, or you can text just to the lead team. And so this provides a lot of flexibility for how we can actually communicate with one another. And I think that's really important because although there's not a lot of communication happening now, once we get into having our new neighbors on the ground, there's going to be a lot of information that needs to be shared quickly, succinctly, and without messiness of emails, texts, and messages going everywhere. So we really want to encourage you to please sign on to the invite that you got from Simon Fowler and become part of our Slack new neighbors site. Okay, I'm going to show you quickly just a few hints about how to use this specifically for our new neighbors team. I'm going to share my screen, and if you can just take 3 or 4 more minutes to listen, I will show you how to use this very briefly. So here's what Slack looks like once you've signed in. Up here, it will list that, there's 27 people that have signed in, and we are called Park Street Church New Neighbors. If you would prefer not to do this on the desktop, but you would prefer to do this on your phone, then you can just sign in on a mobile, and you can do this on a phone if that's a better spot for you to do that. Or you can open the desktop app and do it on your desktop. Now, on Slack, you're going to find that there's various ways that you can communicate. You can communicate through channels, which we'll open up in a minute, or you can communicate directly to individuals that are in the site. So for instance, I could communicate to Sarah Robinson or Cam Jones. Simply by clicking on their name, I can enter into a conversation with them. However, I want to show you as well how you can communicate through channels. And you may just have something that says channels, and if you go like this, it will give you the listing of all the channels, and you can then browse the channels. And another way of doing that is you can go to channels and you can go to these 3 dots and you can ask to browse the channels, and then that will move over to this main section where you can look at all the channels we currently have. I'm going to just quickly run over those channels with you and show you what channels we have and which ones you might want to use. You can ask the lead team anything. So if you have questions for us, rather than emailing us, if you were to put your question here, we would try to answer you within 24 hours. If you want to say something to everyone, this shouldn't be about your particular role. It shouldn't be about your particular team, but it might be, hey, here's some new information I found out about Afghan culture, and you could share that. Or, hey, here's a video I took of our Afghan friends moving into their new home. I thought you all might like to see this. So you can put those interest communications where everyone would want to know about it right there. In praise and prayer, of course, that we have a prayer time every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 7:30 to 8 a.m. It would be great if you could jump into this channel. You get into the channel just by clicking here. You're now in the channel. You can introduce yourself and you can send a message. You can say, my prayer requests for today are these: that there would be healing for the Usmani family from their very trauma informed journey. There, now there's a prayer request there. And basically what's going to happen is that when we are about to pray, we're going to go into that channel and we're going to see what the prayer requests are. So I invite you to jump into there and leave prayer requests. Then next to that, we have the 7 roles that each team is going to have: basic necessities, education, housing, transportation, jobs, prayer, services, wayfinder role. If you are a person who has joined a new neighbor team and you have chosen your role, we would love for you to join the team that basically is doing that. Now, these aren't separate teams from your neighborhood teams. It's just that Imagine if across the teams, everyone who was doing services jumped into this services channel here. Then if Arlington Winchester discovers some really cool benefits and services that are available to Afghan neighbors, they can just offer to list them here, and then you can go on here and see what they've discovered. So we can ask questions of other people who are doing the services for our new neighbors, and we can also list new resources here. And this is a quick way to go in and just say, oh, are there any updates on my role? Also, Simon and I will also post any updates here. If we find new services, we will post them here. If we find new videos that will help you, we will post them here. So this is a spot where you're going to want to come as often as you can. I'll be making videos about the different roles this week, hopefully, and be posting them. So you would want to jump on and see what video is posted that further explains your role. But then there's other channels, and this is where your own teams each have their own channel. So we've got Arlington, Winchester, Boston, Brookline, the Cafe team, JP, Roslindale, Malden, Melrose, Quincy, and Reading are all here with their own channel. You can go here and talk about the meetings you're going to have. You can post docs here. You can just do whatever you need here to fully communicate. Now, just one other detail that's really important, and that is rather than just having conversations that continue in general on the page itself, it's very important, rather than just doing that, to actually, if someone's asking a question or you want to enter a conversation, it's important to just enter a conversation thread. So let me give you an example. Down here, Cam Jones has asked a question. The best way to respond to that is not to answer it by replying below. Although, Christina, thank you for doing that. And I know that you now know about threads. So the best way to answer it is if you see something that you want to reply to, there'll be as soon as you click on, as soon as I click on Cam Jones here, it will go gray. And then what happens is this little box on the right comes up with options of what you can do. If you don't want to say anything to Cam, but you'd really like to just give him a thumbs up for what he's asking, you can just leave a thumbs up. There you go. And it will show a thumbs up over here. But if you'd like to reply, rather than replying below, this little text bubble actually will take you onto a thread. And in that thread, you can now begin to have a conversation related to what Cam shared. And so I'm using this for an example. Cam, thanks for patience with this. So that's the one. And so you see, you'll carry on your conversation there. So that's one hint about conversations. But then also say I'm responding to Cam and I want to ping someone else so that I get their attention. So I go into that reply thread again, and I can say at Simon Fowler, or I could do at Christina Michaud, and they will be specifically alerted that there's a conversation I've invited them into. Can you help us? Now, I'm not going to send that because I don't want to ping them, but that is how you would ping them, and then they would know that you've included them and would like some information from them in this particular conversation. Hi, friends. I just wanted to give you one last word. My time of video was interrupted because I was meeting with the Chinese Bible Church of Greater Boston, and I was just so excited to be with other people who are resettling families here in Boston, and they reminded me of how much we have to learn from others, and they're doing research and discussing culture, and they're going to partner with us. We're going to share Pamir Usami. They desperately needed a translator, and Pamir is going to be able to do that for the church, and I'm so thankful for that. And they're wondering if they can share Hope House if necessary. And it was just such a reminder that this is not just the work of Park Street. This is the work of the Church of Jesus Christ in the Greater Boston area, to love the strangers Jesus is sending us. And this is the work of the Holy Spirit. And through this work, we as churches and we as Park Street Church will grow closer together in love. So I just want to thank you for your work, and know that Jesus is always happy when we offer our neighbors a place to come and a place that is home in his name. Blessings on you this day.